I'm going to talk to you guys about how to take over a business with no money, with little to no money, and with money. So let's jump into it. Hey, my friends, you know what to do. Subscribe to my channel. It helps a lot. Thank you. Before you take over a business, though, you do have to know what kind of business you are going to take over. Like exactly, you have to be precise. Know exactly what kind of business you want to start, but you don't want to start, you want to take over an existing business. You need to have a clear picture as to what kind of business you are looking for. And then you start looking around. So I'm going to break it down into three: how to take over a business with money, how to take over a business with little to no money, and how to take over a business with no money at all. Yes, you can take over a business with no money at all, and I'm going to teach you how to do it. How to take over a business with money. So I have identified what kind of business I do want to take over. The next step is to go hunting, looking for what kind of business you want to take over. This particular subject, I'm going to use my example for the car wash. When I took over the car wash, I'm going to give you guys the exact breakdown, my thinking process, the numbers I was looking at going into the deal. So you're going to start hunting, looking for distressed companies, right? A company that you can clearly see that is struggling, right? That's the easiest target for you. You're trying to take over a business. You were looking for a company that is struggling because you're going to get, Warren Buffett used to call that the cigar buzz, right? You're going to get it for very cheap because the owners already won out. You are basically saving them. So you get a great deal out of that. I mean, if you're trying to go for a business that's thriving, trust me, they don't want to sell. And if they do sell, the price is going to be extremely high for you. So you are looking for a company that's struggling. If you have money, that's struggling but has assets that you can turn things around, or even if it doesn't work out, you can sell off the assets and you're still not going to lose. And I'm going to break it down to you guys. So let's get into it. I had to go in with a price already on my mind, like how much am I going to pay? And this is where the math comes in, right? So I was looking at the guy, I'm looking around, and I know that they are making about $80 to $150 a day, right? That was the calculations. And this business was struggling. So that means if I turn things around, I can easily, make 150 out of it a day. But you want to be very pessimistic as an investor. You want to be very, very, very pessimistic with your numbers. You don't want to be too optimistic. You have to be optimistic about the business, that the business you can turn it around. Yes, you have to have a lot of confidence that you can turn things around, like you are the chosen one. But with regards to valuing, the company, if you go and be optimistic about it, you're going to end up paying, ridiculous amount of money, and probably you're going to end up with a loss. So you have to be as pessimistic as it gets when you are valuing the company that you're trying to take over. But you can be optimistic when you are the one selling it, though. So I went for the lower end, which is $80 a day. And as I mentioned, I want my payback period. When I do the calculations, I want it to be under 5. Anything under 5, I am happy, right? So I picked 80 because I'm being extremely pessimistic with my calculations, right? I'm making $80 a day from the car wash after renovating it and all that. That's what I'm going for. Though it's supposed to be higher, I'm gonna go for $80 a day, right? The car wash is operating 30 days out of the month. So 80 times 30, and that's gonna give us $2,400 a month. And from there, I'm gonna multiply that by 12, right? So 12 times 2,400 is gonna give us $28,800 a year. So I know how much this business is going to give me yearly and monthly, right? It's gonna give me $28,800 per year. And based on that, I just multiply it by, 3. Like I know within 3 years I can get my money back because I'm trying to squeeze the owner, right? And I'm looking at how big the land is and all the equipment's on site. And I felt like, $65,000 was a fair deal. And that's what I put the owner with. But I ended up increasing the price because there was more land in the back that I didn't know of. So I'm going to be very transparent with you guys. So let's jump into it. So with my $65,000 proposal, that means I was essentially getting my money back in 2.25 years. That means it's like 2 years, 2 months, and like maybe 15 days. That's when I'm going to get all my money back if I'm making $28,800 a year, right? So that's how the math goes. I just took the 65 and I divided by the 28,800, and that's the number that I got. So payback period, how much I'm getting my money back, right? And after that, everything else is essentially free, and I own all the assets. And if everything goes wrong, I knew that I can just sell off all the assets and I'll still walk away with a lot of money because the land only appreciates in value. I cannot lose with this deal. But as I mentioned, there was more land in the back that I didn't know of, and that was almost like the same size as the land that I could see, right? So they wanted more money. I think they wanted like $90,000, and I said, nope, I am not paying $90,000. And we essentially agreed on $83,000. So I bought that business for $83,000. And in my head, I knew that I was going to put like maybe $11,000 into that property for renovation. I knew I was going to do this minimal, but that does not come into this calculation. This calculation was purely based on just, operating the car wash, right? And if I put $11,000 in, that's 11,000 plus the $83,000 that I bought, the business for, and that will give you $94,000, right? $94,000 divided by that $28,800, and that's gonna give me 3.26, which means within 3 years, 2 months, and a couple of days, I'm gonna have all my money back in my pocket, and essentially everything else is free. Like I said, if I'm buying a business in Ghana, my payback period in my mind is 5 or under. That's why I'm here, right? I'm not going to buy something I'm going to get my payback period in 10 years, which is a deal in America. I want 5 years or below. That's why I'm here. Here to do business, and a great one at that, right? So I got this deal, and I was getting my money back in 3.26 years, right? That's my payback period. That's amazing. So as time goes on, I'm going to talk to you guys regarding stocks. So if this company was a corporation with shares, it was going to be known as, price to earning ratio. I'm not going to get all mathy here. I'm not going to get too crazy. So let's leave it as that. It was a great deal. I'm going to get my money back in 3.26 years, right? $83,000 for the business, $11,000 for renovations, and that, that essentially I'm spending $94,000 on the entire thing, and I'm having like $28,800 in cash flow a year, and within 3 years, 2 months, and a couple of days, I got my money back, right? And as I mentioned, the $80 a day is worst case scenario. So I'm definitely going to be making more since I'm renovating the car wash. But you want to be pessimistic when you are calculating this stuff. And that's how you take over a business with money. You're looking for a struggling business, you approach them with the math behind you, and then you go in and you negotiate, try to make sure you get your money, as fast as possible, and everything else for free. Right. So let's say I was wrong in this situation. You have to calculate all the risks involved, right? So let's say I was wrong, right? Though his books, the car wash was really shitty, but his books proves that the guy was making money. He was making about $70, $80, $90, $100 a day, right? The state of the car wash was pretty bad. So let's say I go in, and for whatever reason, I have the worst luck in the world. I get no customers. What am I gonna do? I just sell off the land, and I could easily sell that land for $140,000. That was my calculation. I had nothing to lose at all going into this business, right? Except dealing with this land cases, land issues, but that's almost over. And I had a title, so I had nothing to worry about. Now we're going to talk about how to take over a business with little to no money. You have to be skilled in this field, right? So let's say you're an architect, you're trying to take over an architectural firm, like a small one, right? Little to no money, that means it's not a big firm. Nobody's gonna sell a big firm for little to no money. You can't do that. So you are approaching, a small, company with like 3 or 4 employees, 5 employees, something small. You approach the owner. Usually you have to spot in situations like this, right? Little to no money. Let's say you're a great chef. I could give you a whole bunch of examples, but I don't want to go all over the place. Let's say you're a great chef. You see a restaurant that could do better, but they are struggling. You go in with a little money with a proposal. You have to be able to negotiate and talk. So you go in and you let them know you're a great chef. You could turn things around, right? And put it in agreement, bring the lawyer on board. You're gonna invest this amount of money, might be small, right? Let's say you have $10,000 and they probably sell the company for $200,000 or $150,000. You can't buy the whole thing, but you got $10,000. You go into partnership with them, and then you let them know, like, this is what's gonna happen. I'm gonna do this and that, and in return, you're gonna give me that. Some people end up buying like 70% out. The owner will just go and relax, and you pay them as you go. There's a lot of deals like that. Sometimes the person that actually owns the company is very old, or they inherited the company, they hate it, their father left the company for them. You might be lucky you got in there, they'll be like, just take it, give me a little bit of the money right now, just pay over time. It happens all the time, trust me. You just gotta approach people and get in their business, and you'll be surprised what you find. How to take over a business with no money. It's very similar to the example that I just gave you guys, with little money, and this is with no money. You have to be a great server, right? You have to be very good at whatever you are doing. You approach them that you can, turn things around. You could be a very trustworthy guy or woman, and you've made a name for yourself, like they can trust you. People inherit stuff all the time that they don't want to take care of, and they will say, you can do this for X amount of time. My father's friend actually inherited a whole business plus, houses and all that, because he was working for this white guy who was in Ghana with no family, and he ended up leaving Ghana or something like that. Or he died, I forgot, but he inherited everything for free, right? So that's one example. I'm not saying the person should die, the person should leave. You can actually go in, serve for a while, and then make a deal, right? Some people just, like I said, some people really hate it. They are willing to give it up, and they will give it to you and probably take like 30%, that you just got to give them and they don't have to do anything. It happens more than you think. When you go in with no money, you could also just, work as hard as you can, learn everything there is to know about the business, make connections, right? Work your way up, make connections with, let's say, that person is selling construction materials. You have connections with all these people that are supplying the materials to the shop that you're working in for years, 5, 6 years. This takes time. You got to be patient. And the owner doesn't want to give you any percentage, or doesn't want to, sell out. Now you have the connections. You have to be a good person though, and you have to have a great character. And you can go into partnership with these suppliers with little to no money, right? Or no money at all, right? Go into partnership with them because of the trust that you built for yourself. And this happens more than you think, right? Because everybody that you know with money or is rich or whatever the situation is, started from zero. Just think about it. Everybody that you know started from zero. Most of the rich people today, all the billionaires that you know today, is first generation. They created all that money by themselves, right? So you do start from somewhere, and you start from zero, right? Some people inherit money and whatnot, but on the average, we all started from zero. And the people who inherited money, their grandfather or their father started from zero to get to where they are. Nobody was born with a lot of money in their pocket. It's only a few people who inherit money. That's how you buy a business with no money, with little to no money, and with money. So if you're not subscribed to the channel already, kindly do so. Like this video as it helps with the algorithm. Hit the bell for notifications. And until next time, my friends, be legendary. Peace.